Cinderella is one of Disney's strongest female characters. She's arguably the most famous quote-unquote strong female character in the company's history. But this can be lost when trying to analyze the movie through, let's call it, modern sensibilities. And these sensibilities tend to miss the point of the actual story in favor of what would be the hypothetical ideal way for it to play out. Like Cinderella going full WWE on her family before gracefully walking into the sunset to torture Little Red Riding Hood. The most recent example of this I've personally witnessed actually happened with Disney's Snow White, where, no joke, someone said they didn't like Snow's character because she didn't immediately pick up his sword to go fight the evil queen. But this isn't about the first Disney princess movie, this is about the second one. Snow White will get her day. A lot of people criticize Cinderella for being too passive in her movie and essentially doing nothing but getting saved by others. And this has to do with two aspects of her character: her being a woman and her being an abuse victim. In this age of correcting for female characters historically being portrayed as weak, ineffective, or lacking agency, a lot of people interpret this movie as a relic of a bygone time, with the main character who gets saved from a situation by marrying a prince without ever, quote-unquote, fighting back. On top of that, abuse is difficult to handle, and when you're essentially crafting all aspects of that abuse in a fictional character, it becomes quite the tightrope. And there's a certain schadenfreude to be gained from when an abuse victim turns the table on their abuser. And some people see Cinderella not directly doing this as a flaw with the movie's plotline. But to interpret the movie this way is to both miss the point and dismiss Cinderella's character. Because Cinderella's story isn't one of fighting, it's one of endurance. You see, Cinderella doesn't have freedom in her movie. She doesn't have a choice. Legally, Lady Tremaine is her guardian, and the movie is set in like the 1800s. Demanding Cinderella rebel is essentially demanding she makes her life harder, essentially with no gain besides short-term emotional satisfaction.
Chasing Lucifer? Catch him this time. That's bad. You know the orders. So if you don't want to lose a nice warm bed, you'd better get rid of those dreams.
This is the thing about abuse stories that I think a lot of people miss. While it would just be great to just have every abuse victim immediately turn around and punch their abuser square in the face, not everyone is in a situation where they are free to choose rebellion, either because of their abuse or because of the power the abuser has over them. Some people just won't even accept the idea that they are being abused, even if it's obvious to everyone else. And Cinderella is essentially a movie about enduring a bad situation you can't escape from and showing that you can, in fact, survive it. This isn't to say this kind of thing can't be criticized if handled poorly, God knows I've done it. But the cause for Cinderella to take action need to take into account how much freedom the girl actually has in her life. To do otherwise is to, essentially, ask the story to change the nature of Cinderella's abuse to fit how you want her to react. And that's possible. It could even be a great story. I'm literally writing it in my head as I type this. It involves mystery, intrigue, and me having no idea how the law in the 1800s work. But that story wouldn't be this one. We do get to see what happens when Cinderella tries to argue.
And the tapestries, and the draperies.
But I just finished.
Do them again!
It doesn't work out. Without the disadvantages Cinderella has, what character and agency she does express becomes all the more apparent. For example, Cinderella never truly submits to her stepmother. Oh, she does the chores and endures the verbal abuse, but her spirit is never crushed. From the waking moments at the beginning of the movie where her song shows that she does in fact yearn for more, to the sarcastic comments she makes, to the fact that once given even the slightest wiggle room by an authority above her abuser, she asserts herself quite well.
By royal command, every eligible maiden is to attend.
Yes, so it does.
This movie happened specifically because Cinderella got an opportunity for more and jumped at it. A chance to go to a ball in a castle, or, to use more modern terms, to go to a party in a castle. It's not emancipation from her family, but it's also not nothing. But even as she gets excited at the prospect, we get more of a reminder as to why her life is not easy, as she has to attend to chores her family dumps on her to keep her too busy to get ready. Over and over, it is emphasized, Cinderella can't do anything on her own. Not because she's weak, but because those with power over her do not give her breathing room. The mice have a whole song about it. Speaking of the mice, as I said in my general analysis of Disney's classic princess movies, the mice are kind of the co-stars of this movie. It wouldn't be too crazy for me to say that Jaq is the protagonist of this film. And a lot of that screen time is dedicated to trying to help Cinderella. The mice help Cinderella make her dress, and it's an attribute of another of Cinderella's strengths, her kindness. Cinderella's family has power over her, and they are cruel. But she has power over all the animals in the building. And she is not. One of the first things she does is rescue one of them from a trap, as we see how she built up her little family of friends. Even Lucifer, who is named Lucifer, I cannot stress this enough, is someone she tries to show kindness to, telling Bruno the dog not to chase him. Though this is partially because Bruno would get punished for attacking the cat, and the step family just will not tolerate that. In this way, Cinderella parallels her step family as someone with power over others, but whose willingness to show compassion creates loyalty. Loyalty to fight a cat they are scared of, loyalty to play the part of her escorts to the ball, loyalty to try to make a dress. The mice are the focus of like half of the movie, and most of that is dedicated to helping their human overlord. But Lady Tremaine is not one to just let you have fun. Quite a bit of subtle characterization goes into her to give us a sense of the exact kind of life Cinderella has had to adapt to. Soft-spoken, classy, willing to pretend to give you a chance and then snatch it away while pretending it's out of her hands. She draws her daughter's attention to the dress because she knows they'll destroy it once they see its details without any prodding, then leaves like nothing is wrong. Also, I do not put being a Black Widow past her in all honesty. Even with the best she and her friends had to offer, Cinderella's still trapped. But she doesn't truly stop believing even as she breaks down crying, and she's able to bring the fairy godmother into the situation. Because this is a fairy tale, and that's the fantastical element. With the godmother's help, she actually gets to go to the ball, where she even gets to dance with a handsome stranger. And later, when Cinderella is back home and finds out that A, that was the prince, and B, he's totally in love with her, all else falls into place. All Cinderella wanted was a taste of freedom, and with the help of some magic, she managed to acquire that. But once she was out of the full grasp of her abuser, she found a world that was eager to accept her for who she was, in a way Lady Tremaine could never coach her daughters into being. You know what I think is the most underrated aspect of Cinderella's character in the first movie? Her ability to just not care. Like I said, she does what she has to, but beyond that, she just has an almost supernatural lack of care for what her stepfamily has to say about her. It just washes right over. It's evident in how she talks about them behind their backs, how she stands up for her right to go to the ball, how she almost seems to completely forget where she is when she finds out the prince is in love with her, and with how the family seems to just be completely forgotten when she's out of the house. Cinderella just will not let them live in her head. They can't afford the rent. The closest they come is making her break down crying, but she still gets the fairy godmother to show up. Cinderella's whole character, and this movie, revolves around endurance and remaining a good person even through a truly horrible situation until your strength of character can get you to a better place. Is it perfect? No. The instant love nature of early Disney movies and montage over actually showing them talk makes the love aspect feel non-existent outside of the visuals. There is a reason I don't consider this a romance movie. And anyone looking for a serious story is going to be disappointed by the divine intervention in the middle. But conversely, the wicked stepmother was so controlling she needed actual magic to get a break. And when the climax happens and Cinderella is locked in her tower, how does she get out? With the help of those she's shown kindness to throughout the movie. And with her going back on her idea that Bruno should follow the rules of the step family and not chase Lucifer, telling the other animals to go get him. Because she's nice, not stupid. And while those rules have to be followed, well, she can't live by them. Lady Tremaine is not done with her sabotage though. As Cinderella gets closer and closer to escaping her, she takes more and more direct approaches to truly undermine the girl. Locking Cinderella in her room is arguably the most active thing she does, trying to keep her from a happy ending and steal it from her, as I suspect she did with the very house they live in. But Cinderella's mice friends foil that, so she moves to destroy the glass slipper, But the keepsake Cinderella got is more than enough to verify her identity. And just like that, Lady Tremaine loses all relevance as Cinderella leaves, taking all her animal friends with her and never looking back as, until the sequels, her step-family fades from her life. And with the same strength and mindset she's always had, she moves on into a castle. What are your thoughts on Cinderella and this video? Tell me down in the comments below, and while you're down there, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more content. I was not joking about working on a Snow White video. Thank you and good day.